Before we begin today's show, today we want to give a big shout out to
Buzz TV. Buzz TV brings you their own spin on Android devices like the Nvidia Shield and the Amazon Fire Sticks, taking software to the next level with their own app helping you stream anything, anywhere. Buzz TV listens to you, the customers, and consistently brings you the latest and greatest when it comes to hardware, software, customer service, and experience right out of the box.
And to find their products, guys, make sure you guys do go to buzztvglobal.com.
Don't forget to click the link in the description below to get yourself the latest Android device right from Buzz TV. With all that being said, let's start the show.
Hey guys, welcome back. So in this video today, I'll be doing a special podcast interview with both Rojas and Next Level Tech. So with all of that being said, let's get started. How's that?
That is amazing.
Awesome. That thumbs up had to be there.
It's like nostalgic because I've watched so many of your videos. I have so much respect for, what you do for the community. It gives me goosebumps hearing you do that intro.
No, I appreciate that. Thanks very much.
Now, everyone else, welcome back to another Beyond the Streams. As you guys know, we've been doing a couple interviews and we've been having a lot of conversations with a lot of people in different communities, and it's literally, we're just combining so many different aspects of just tech communities together. So if you guys do watch us in the YouTube channel or any of the podcasts, make sure you guys do leave us a comment below. Today we do have a special guest. If you didn't hear that awesome intro, Tech Doctor UK, how are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you guys?
We're good.
Amazing.
We're good.
It's nice to be here. Oh, thanks for having me, really, I should say, or I should start with.
Yeah, I know Next Level wants to say something. Go for it, Next.
Well, there's so many creators that we have in the community, but it's kind of like you have those iconic ones that you have so much respect for. And without, I guess, starting something like this, it's very rare that you get an opportunity to connect with people that you have a lot of respect for in the community and actually get to know them or have a conversation, like a liberal conversation. That's not all about, how do you load a Fire Stick or what app's the best app out there? You know what I mean? So it's just really nice to just sit back and have a conversation with you. Because like I said, I've learned a lot from you, and I know there's a lot of people in the community that have learned a hell of a lot from you. So I'm pretty excited just to be able to have this conversation with you. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I did. Now, I did do a video based on one of your videos that you did a while back. I thought it was awesome. Again, just like how Next Level said, this is the first time we're all having a conversation, and being, I guess I'm way on the other side of the globe. I'm over here just watching your stuff, and one of the things that I was just like, your VPN, how to speed up your VPN video. I was like, man, that's such a good video. I'm like, I need to do something like that because I keep sending people to your video. I'm like, dude, check this out. And they're like, okay, I got it. And then they're like, hey, I'm still having issues. I'm like, did you check out the video? No, I haven't had a chance yet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very common problem where people, unfortunately, either they don't watch the entire video or they don't watch it carefully enough, so they don't understand, the points you're trying to make. And it's particularly difficult when you're making tutorial videos because the things that they're asking questions on are always mentioned in that video. But if they don't watch it properly, they just ask the same questions again and again. Oh, where do I download the app? What's the address? Why is this not working? But you think, did you actually watch the video? Because I specifically mentioned to do this, go here, or to get that, go over there. Yep. But it's just one of those YouTube things that, we just have to adapt to and get used to.
100%. There's a lot of people that just watch the first minute of a video.
Yeah.
And they'll just comment right away, how do you do this? And it's like, well, did you watch the whole video?
Yeah. I mean, the worst one is where they say, what's the name of the app? So literally you've done a whole 8-minute video talking about an application, but they don't even know what the app is called, even though it's mentioned within the first 30 seconds. And they can see that app logo across, either on the thumbnail or during the video. They just ask the comment, what's the app called? I mean, seriously. Yeah. It just wastes so much time, but yeah.
And I do get that periodically I'll do get something like that where I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm like, you did not watch the video, did you?
Yeah,
But thank you for coming. This is going to be awesome. You're one of the guys that we talked about getting onto this podcast and interviewing you. So one of the questions that we like to start off with is how did you get into the whole YouTube? Like, what inspired you? What in your, I guess in your, within your background that you're just like, I really want to get into this whole YouTube venture.
Well, I've always loved technology. So whether that's like, me playing on my Spectrum Plus 2 from the old days, or the first NES, any gadgets, anything that's got like, buttons or things I can like open or, play about with, that's just something that I've always been interested in. And from the, older days where there wasn't really much, actually, there wasn't actually YouTube back then anyway. So anything you wanted to find out or anything you wanted to research, you had to just look online and look on forums. And through those forums, like for example, XDA is a great example because I've been on XDA for like more than 15 years. Back in the days of like, trying to do mobile phone hacking or, doing custom ROMs, all that kind of stuff. And the only place you can actually, get questions or, find answers or find other people with similar interests was, on forums. So all that stuff, I find it really interesting, doing research, trying to find fixes. So that kind of like, I took a lot from the community or, I learned a lot online. So when YouTube started getting more and more popular, I always thought that, could I actually do a YouTube channel and maybe share some of the stuff that I found? Because, you guys gave me a lot of, praise in the beginning, but the stuff that I present in my videos is just stuff that I found myself. So I can't really take all credit for it. It's just that information is out there. It's just bringing it together, then presenting it. That's, what I do. But somebody else has gone through the trouble. Somebody else has, worked that stuff out. So the fact that they've done that, me actually making a video is my way of giving back to the community. So the stuff that I've learned, I can now share with, other people. And that's probably the reason why I initially decided to, create that channel. The only thing is when I first created the channel was all focused on PC, like tutorials, like, how do you convert a PDF into, normal document? How do you fix a printer, paper jams? Really like, odd stuff, but stuff that, I would have thought that, people would have found useful. But as you guys know very well, when you do start a brand new channel, you just have no audience. Like literally you're talking to a brick wall. So you have no views, you have no comments, you're making these videos, but, nobody's really watching them. I think it was like, I think I made 6 or 7 videos and it wasn't really going anywhere. And then randomly, I still don't know why, I decided to make a video on how to install the K application on Windows 10. And as soon as I made that video, I think I got like 500 views in a couple of days. And that was like a serious, record for me. Right. So I thought, oh, this is quite interesting. So clearly there is a demand for people wanting to use this application. And I think back then we were talking about, add-ons like there was Exodus, there was NaviX. I can't remember all the add-ons now, but the real old school stuff. So I made a couple. Yeah, exactly. So I made a couple more videos on that, and slowly, the traction started. People started coming back. People started leaving comments. And that's really how my whole YouTube journey started. I think it's been like 2.5 years now or so. So yeah,
it's funny because I pretty much had a similar experience because the first couple videos I dropped was on Showbox. And right. I didn't know any different because I'd never posted a video before, and that started getting 5, 10, 15,000, and then those videos ended up getting 300,000 views. As a brand new YouTuber, I was like, I guess I have to do this. You know what I mean?
Because there's a demand.
Set me up with a really false expectation, thinking that every video was going to get 300,000 views.
It's not the case.
Within the first couple months, I would gain 5, 6, 7,000 subscribers, and then I kind of just plateaued a bit now. But it's really interesting when I hear you talk about getting actively involved in forums and meeting people that you start to learn a lot from. Because I think that, to a third degree, I think I've ran into people that know people that you've talked to in the forums as well. So when I first got started, I ran into people that know there's a developer by the name of SpeedyMon. And I think that you've had conversations with SpeedyMon as well, too, when it comes to ADB and Fire Sticks and stuff like that.
Right, sounds familiar. Yeah, definitely sounds familiar.
This is years ago. So I know his best friend that also is pretty good in the ADB commands, and we do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, seeing how we can, push things to the next level, for lack of a better term. But it's always interesting seeing what you've been able to discover, what you've been able to accomplish with making the connections in the community behind the scenes and in the forums. So I've always been pretty interesting to kind of keep up to seeing what you're doing and talking to people in the background, seeing how does this actually work.
Yeah. Now, I think the community is like the great thing about, what we're doing, on YouTube, is a community that brings everything together. It's their feedback. The stuff that, sometimes you try something out, it doesn't work for you, but then somebody in the comments says, oh, have you tried it like this? So the fact that we can learn from each other, learn from the community, it's a real healthy relationship that we have, with our viewers. And I definitely, appreciate that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool how you were. My story is a little bit different than how both of you guys started your YouTube stuff. With me, I used to teach music, and then I used to be in the military. So I kind of had I knew a lot of people before I got into the whole YouTube. And with me, it was, I got in there because when I started to learn how to use the K app, I know Nex has heard this story a couple of times. One of my friends from high school sold me a Fire Stick for $180.
Oh, I wasn't one of those loaded one, was it? Like a fully loaded?
Yeah, fully loaded.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. I know the one. Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was. I for me, I thought it was amazing because again, it was when Navi X was around and Mashup and Genesis and just all these old school add-ons that just worked. Sports Devil worked every single time. And what happened was some of the apps slowly started to update and change and stop working. And so I jumped into the whole rabbit hole of let me look who's on YouTube or Google or whatever to fix my stuff. And with me, I had a lot of friends and family that were like, hey, how do you fix this? So I would just text them or email or go to their house. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to start a YouTube channel. I'm just going to put the video there and you guys
send them a link to it. Yeah, they can just watch it then. Yeah.
So for me, out the gate, I was already having a couple hundred views, but that was like all friends and family. That was like everybody that I knew already. I think for me it was very interesting when I did there was a big fight. I forget what it was. I don't know if it was like a pay-per-view or a wrestling or what it was. There was a big event and I did a video on it. And that one video, I think it got like 10,000 views. And I'm just like, whoa. And I see all these comments below. I'm like, who are all these people? I had no clue. And that's pretty much how I got into the whole YouTube thing. And it was just based solely on just the K app.
Right.
But for me, when I look at your channel now, and I'm just like, okay, there's, I know Top Tutorials used to do the K app back in the day. So did
Doc Squiffy. There's ASBYT as well. Yeah,
ASBYT. Yeah, several of them, and a lot of them started to move away from it. And I was kind of curious. I'm like, man, why are you guys moving away when it's so easy? It's such a hot topic. It's easy to get views, and everybody's constantly looking at this stuff. And of course, I had to learn the hard way where, YouTube didn't like it anymore.
Yeah. And I think it's particularly worse in the UK. So just getting back to what you said about, so there was Top Tutorials, who's now TT Technology. There was Doc Squiffy back then. There was Husham. And a couple of other people I used to regularly watch. They were like my main K application people I used to regularly watch and get ideas from and just do similar kind of videos. But then over time, as the YouTube policies changed, initially it was just like, as soon as you mention the K application, it's like an instant demonetized video, so your video just goes yellow. Then as things progress, then it was just like copyright strikes became very, very common. For content. So either your video was taken down straight away or it was just blocked in most countries. And then when they started introducing the community guideline strikes, that's where literally like you just could not make that kind of content in the UK, because literally you make it one day and the next day there's either a strike on you or somebody's, you know, requested a takedown.
Yeah.
It just basically was too much heat, and I think for most people it was a case of, is it really worthwhile me risking my channel just to get these, you know, like you say, you know, easy views? Because they were very easy views, because with the K application there's like endless add-ons, endless, you know, builds you could review. It literally could, you know, review a build a day, and and there's just plenty of content for, you know, you to cover. Then with APKs, as you guys know, there's you know, untold APKs out there, and then pretty much every other day there's an update to that APK. So again, very, very easy content. But I think it's boiled back to that debate that, you know, do you want to risk your channel, you know, potentially losing all your channel, you know, for these views? And I think for most people, you know, we just decided to stop doing that kind of content. So that's why basically I switched up from doing, and I think I cleaned out like, I think 5 or 6 million, you know, views of old videos I had to delete. So all those old videos of you know, terrarium, and you know, all the, you know, showbox and mob, all those, you know, the popular videos, I just, and you know, IPTV stuff, I just took them all from my channel. And then from that point forward I just decided that the only content you're going to see is stuff that's, you know, within the YouTube guidelines.
I think Rojas is pretty familiar with that because his original channel name was K Tutorials.
Oh, I see. So, okay.
Yeah.
So gee, I wonder what that video is all about. What that channel is all about.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't know. So it's funny. Everybody that we've talked to, they're like, "Oh yeah, next level. I've known you first before Rojas. I knew you first, and I saw you first, and then next level is like, wait a minute, but have you guys ever heard of a YouTube channel called K Tutorials?" And they're like, "Oh yeah. But that was a long time ago." And it was just like, well, actually, that was
That's me. Yeah.
I didn't have my face. It was just the application, and it was just my voice doing the settings, going. And for me, I grew extremely fast within a year. I got to 100,000 before the year was over, and I focused so much on just the YouTube and, you know, the case stuff. And as soon as I hit that 100,000, I noticed YouTube started to flag some of my stuff. And I was actually really surprised that I even got that far, because so many other people were just complaining about it. And they're only like about 10, 20,000 subscribers. And I'm just like, how are you guys having issues? You know, like, don't be showing, like, what I would do is I would open up an add-on, go into the settings right away. I'm just like, movies, TV shows, they're all the same.
Right.
You need to go into the settings, and this is how you make it work really, really good. So my channel was very, very unique, because I would bring up the popular add-ons, and I will say, here's some of the highlighted stuff, but this is how you get into the back end, and this is how you tweak like your reel to Brit and your track, and like just different things like that. And yeah, for me, it was very. I don't know if you experienced this when you changed your content, but for me, it was such. I was so used to doing like just the case stuff. Every other day I dropped a video.
Right.
And all of a sudden it was like, stop, you got to do something completely different. And I didn't really get into the APKs too much. I would drop an APK here and there. I might do like 1 or 2 videos a month about APKs. But I really had to stop doing the case stuff, and it was just so foreign to me on everything else. Like, how did you cope with that when you had to tell yourself, okay, no more this, now let's start doing that?
It was tough. It was very tough because, like you said, with the K application and with APKs, making content was just, you know, really easy. I mean, a lot of the stuff you could just rinse and repeat, because yes, it was an update to, you know, Terrarium TV, but pretty much everything in the menus, you know, all the settings were all the same. It's pretty much, say, it's like the newer version, but not much has changed. But so you can make those videos, you know, very, very easily. So to go from that to now trying to, like, you know, find other type of content but still related to streaming, it was very difficult, and it did take time for me to, you know, adjust. But then, to be fair, you know, I could say honestly, it wasn't like I particularly loved, the K application, or, found it really interesting, or, I mean, doing this, APK updates every other day, it wasn't amazingly, interesting or enjoyable for me. But again, it was very, very easy views, and it gave my channel, very quick growth, which, I can't deny. So then to go from that to, tutorials, trying to make stuff work, changing launchers, or, expanding Fire Stick storage, more complicated stuff. So it was more enjoyable, but at the same time, it's much harder to get, those kind of views that I used to get in the old days. But, slowly, the channel is growing again, and I'm sure you guys know. Well, I hope you guys know that, with my hacking incident that happened last year, where my channel was offline for, I think, almost 4 months. So that was like a real, bad time for my channel. Because I think prior to that, I think towards September 2019, or around about that time, my channel was actually seeing the best growth since I stopped doing the other content. So finally, things were like on track. Things were growing nicely. I had like regular followers, people that regularly commenting. So the growth was actually very good. So then to go from that, then unfortunately that incident happened, which I can give you guys a quick summary if you guys, or for your followers that may not know. But essentially, so back in September, October time, actually, I think it was around about the start of November, I received a sponsorship email for this completely new VPN. And you have to understand, as YouTubers, we get these emails, fairly regularly, people asking to collaborate with us, review our software, review our, Android box and all that kind of stuff. So they asked me to review some software, and they're paying, very good money. Obviously now looking back, I shouldn't have been so gullible, but, I let my guard down. I wasn't really like, paying attention. I just saw the numbers that they were offering, and the numbers were very good. So I was like, sure, I'll review it. What do you want me to do? So they asked me to try out some software. So I had to download this software, which was actually, I think like 500 or 600 meg. I mean, that should have raised some, flags initially. But the thing is, I actually tried to, I don't have antivirus on my machine. I mean, I do now, but I didn't back then. So I downloaded it and it was okay. But then when I tried to scan it in VirusTotal, which is something that I do all the time, I actually had a message from VirusTotal saying their max limit for file scans is 500 meg. And because this was like, I think this is why they purposely made the file larger so you couldn't scan it on these online, search or antivirus places. So I couldn't scan it. So then fortunately, as soon as I double clicked it, nothing really happened. And then, and what was actually happening in the background was the malware that was injected onto my machine was able to take it's called a Chrome session hijack. So whatever I was logged into my Chrome browser window, the hackers were able to get a copy of that session on their machine. So if I was logged into my email, they were logged into my email. If I was logged into my YouTube channel, they were also logged into my YouTube channel. And obviously they're not like, they were very fast in what they did. So the first thing they did was they created some rules in my Gmail address. So any email from YouTube accounts, or any email from Google accounts, any emails from security warnings from Google, all of those will be bypassed. I would never see those emails. So that's the first thing that they did. They added those custom rules. They then logged into my YouTube channel, which is a brand channel, which means you can have multiple owners. If you have a personal YouTube channel, then you can only have one owner. But if you have a brand channel, then you can have multiple owners, and you can give them different permissions and stuff. So they logged into my brand channel and added themselves as an additional owner to my channel. And then 24 hours later, they removed me, so I had no access. And it's only when they removed me the next day, I finally got a notification saying that somebody's updating my contact info. And when I saw that, I thought, what's going on? So the first thing I did was like, let me quickly check my channel. And fortunately, I could see that my channel was there. So I thought, oh, it's fine. Maybe it's just like a slight bug. But what I didn't see was I wasn't actually an owner of it anymore. So the channel was still there. It was still called TECHDOCTORUK, but I had no more access to that channel with my email address. And that was really, and then, trying to get to YouTube support, trying to talk to them. And that time, hackings weren't that common. Obviously now it's like a very common thing. But back then, it wasn't really like a common thing. And it took YouTube like, over 3 months to restore my access. And you think like, if this was my only job, if this was my, bread and butter, if I was paying my bills through my YouTube channel, I would have been finished, because I would literally had no earnings for, I think, 4 or 5 months. So that was a pretty a bad time. So then to go from all of that, then slowly get your channel back, slowly start the growth, and then that's basically the journey that I've been on over the last, year or so, or 8 months or so. But
That's crazy to wake up one day and to have to
yeah,
fight for something that you've worked on every single
that's
day
it.
for the past few years, and it's like out of your reach, and it's like, what's going
Yeah,
on? The amount of anxiety that I get while listening to that story is unreal, because I don't know what I would do to go through that same situation. I
yeah.
wouldn't. I don't know if I would be able to keep it together.
Well, I don't know if I did actually keep it together, but what I do know is like YouTube, you cannot speak to them. There's no phone number. There's like, how do I get support? So you try and talk to them on the, email support or the live chat, but all they keep saying is this is being investigated. We're checking this out. We'll get back to you. Like if, for example, if they said to me, your ticket number, 500 out of 10,000, at least I know I've got my place in the queue. Then eventually I'll get to position number one and they can deal with my case. They tell you nothing. All they tell you is we're looking into it, or the investigation team is checking this out. We'll get back to you. And that kind of like when you're in that unknown state where you literally have no information, you have no idea how long this is going to take. That uncertainty, it really can mess you up. So yeah, it wasn't the best time of my YouTube career.
Yeah, I would. Oh man, I don't know. I think the closest time I've ever, like, I cannot say I've ever lost my channel that went down or was frozen or nothing like that. The closest thing I would ever have to that was I had 2 strikes,
Mm,
um, and it happened 3 separate occasions. And I think when you're on your second strike, you can't do anything for like a month.
that's right. That's right.
And so, luckily for me, I record a lot of my stuff ahead of time, and I upload everything way in advance. So, when it happened to me on all occasions, I had some videos already there slated for like 5 weeks or 6 weeks, and in the meantime, I would go in there and start, arguing with YouTube or fighting with them, saying like, "Hey, like I didn't show nothing. This is my face. This is original here. This I'm not copying nobody, and um, luckily they they've normally have taken them down. They're like, okay, yeah, we see this was an error.
Hmm.
There was a few times that they left it there and said, nope, sorry, we're leaving it there, and I'm like, but why? um and some of them I really don't understand why. I would just be talking about something. I'm not really giving instructions on how to download, how to um like it's like no tutorial. I think one of them was even like something about like Gears TV, one of their live streaming services back then. There is a group out there that did a rebrand of Gears and was pretending to be the real Gears. So
Right.
they're trying to steal people. So I just made a video talking about it, saying like, hey, the official website is here, and anything else is not an official. And I even said, because I a lot of comments that I was getting was I would go there because they said if I sign up, I get the first month free, and then I get $20 lifetime after that. And I'm just like, okay, that doesn't even sound right. Like, why would they give you a month free and then $20? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it just doesn't make sense. So I made the video, I talked about it, and YouTube gave me a strike for it. And later on, me fighting for them, they were just like, nope, we're leaving it. I'm like, why? It's me making an opinion about something, and I'm trying to warn people about something, and you're giving me no reason why it's still a strike. And they're just like, just make sure you read the guidelines.
Yeah, yeah. That's
That's
always a common answer. Just here, like you ask them, please explain, what part of this video violated which guideline. Tell me exactly what, and all they tell you is click on this link to read the guidelines.
Yeah.
So they really don't make it, easy for you to know, like, where you caused that, problem.
Yeah. Well, apparently, I don't know if you've heard. I do have a rep in YouTube now. It took me a while to get a person, but I finally got a person, and they said that they are now hiring more real people instead of dealing with their moderators,
Right.
with bots or whatever they were, because they started to get lawsuits based on on like, hey, we're taking this down, and people are saying like, this is my job. You're this is now financially a burden, and you guys are giving us like there's nothing in the guidelines that says what I'm doing wrong, and there's nothing. People were going as far as all the contacts that I signed. There's nothing in there that says if I violate something, you guys will not help re-educate me either. So they were going around different ways of saying, because there is something in there that says on their discretion they could take something down if they want. But the one thing that they forgot to leave out is they need to re-educate then if that's the case.
Right.
So there's a lot of lawsuits that they're actually fighting on right now, and I know they're hiring now more people to actually look at this stuff. My only gripe with that though is that they're probably going to hire like a bunch of 18 or 19-year-olds, and if they're having a good day, they might say, "Okay, you're good," or or opposite of that.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things. Just trying to get to a human, on the other end, it's always like a challenge. Like I remember when I was started doing the normal stuff, like the the ad friendly stuff, shall we say, and I made a video on Pluto TV, and I got a community guideline warning for it, and I was like, I do not understand. This is a completely legal application. It has completely licensed content. Please explain why. So I did that. You request a manual review. Or no, sorry, I did a counterclaim saying this should not be a warning, and this is a completely legal application. And I even gave them a link to the Pluto TV website, but they kept their decision, and now I've got that permanent warning on my channel. So I don't know if you guys know. So when you first get a community guideline warning, that warning stays with you forever. Whereas if you get community guideline strike, then after X amount of time, it's removed from your channel. But that warning never goes. So every time I log into YouTube Studio, that's the first thing that always bloody greets me is that damn warning saying you got one warning. Oh, you got one as well. Okay.
I have one of those. Yeah.
But what was it for though? What was the actual warning for?
Mine was for Mobdro. So
Okay.
I mean, I can't argue that.
Okay, fine. So Mobdro versus Pluto. So yeah, that's not really a fair thing. But unfortunately, like, once it's there now. So we can't do anything about it, unfortunately. But
I've tried to argue it, because I got to say something. So I was like, I was just explaining something. I didn't really show much in the video. Like, you just got to say something. And it's sitting there saying that my review has been submitted, but they're not even opening it. It's been there for months.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you're talking about YouTube not doing the right stuff. I mean, I don't know if you guys or Russ, have you got a play button for getting to 100,000, or did you get the play button from YouTube?
So there's a funny story on that one.
Okay.
Long story short was I got something from YouTube, and I was in the middle of it took me a while. It took me a long while to actually get it. And I want to say when I actually hit my 100,000, it was right on New Year's Eve, maybe a few minutes before midnight. And we were out like at a restaurant, and so we're having drinks, we're partying, we're having fun. But I got something from YouTube, I think like 6-7 months later. It was during the summer. We were looking for houses. We were living in an apartment. So we were like grabbing stuff, moving stuff, and like there's still boxes that I'm opening up that has mail from like 2 years ago.
Oh wow.
And I'm
Okay.
like, oh, that's a bill. Like, that ain't good. And I made it a point. I'm like, okay, I need to go through. There's 3 boxes that I haven't looked through yet. They're big boxes, and they're in the garage. I put them up on top. You know how you have your rafts in the garage. So I put them up there, and I'm like, okay, they're there. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I just haven't opened it yet. I'll be sad if it's not, but yeah, I'm hopeful that's what it is, and I need to open it up and put it somewhere back there,
Yeah, so I haven't received my play button as yet, and I think I've tried 3 times now to ask, because it's not guaranteed. It's not a case of if you get 100K, you're definitely going to get it. Unfortunately, they have their own kind of check. Yeah, they review your channel and stuff. So 3 times apparently they reviewed my channel, and unfortunately they're saying it doesn't deserve a creator reward, so I still don't have a play button, which is really, I mean I know it's just like a one thing big, but I think as a content creator it is that kind of like milestone that, you know, yes, I've officially got this button from thingy. So it's a
It's
bit
big.
frustrating that they haven't given it, or they haven't explained to me. Like, for example, if they said to me, we've checked out your channel, Tech Doctor, and these 4 videos are not within our guidelines, so we cannot give, then I'll say, fine, I'll delete those videos. It's not a problem. But
Right.
they don't tell you. All they tell you is that we've checked your channel, and unfortunately, we do not think you should get a play button.
I think the more frustrating part is, you know, if you just did videos on that K app or on APKs, you'd
Then
be
you
like,
think, okay.
okay, I get it, right? But now that you've kind of made that transition where you actually have to step into more of a creative role and you have to, you know, do more research,
That's
and
right.
more effort goes into these videos than just slapping, you know, an APK up on the screen saying, this is the update. You know,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
added a
yeah.
couple more sources. There was a
Yeah.
bug fix. You know what I mean? You're actually being more of a creator.
That's
So
right.
getting that play button is really just saying,
We
you know,
recognize you.
it's recognizing you as being a creative impact in the community. You know, you're impacting the community in a positive way. So, I mean, I don't know if I'll ever get to 100,000 subscribers. I'm only at 30, 33 or 34. I've been stuck here for a while. Ever since I got that community strike, my
Okay.
channel stopped getting views. I'll get like maybe 900 to 1,000 views, maybe 2 or 3,000 at the most, and then I got nothing after that. So I don't expect to hit 100,000 subscribers, but I don't do it for that.
You'll
I
get it
enjoy making the videos. I enjoy helping the community. The same reasons we all do what we do, right? But at the same time, it would be nice to get some kind of recognition.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm not just I do a lot of stuff on apps, but I'm starting to do things that are a little bit different. I'm starting to branch out, do a little bit more of unboxings and reviews on actual products and that kind of stuff. I've never really done any videos particularly about the K app, but I do videos on other apps. So I get it. So we'll see how things go when I start to change up my content a little bit more, but it'd be nice to get there one day, but I don't have any crazy expectations. I just do this to help people and try to help as many people as I can.
And see, that's interesting because I got to 100 just doing the K app, and it did take them a couple months for me to finally get something. I know another YouTuber that did just APKs, and he got his play button. And I've also known some. There's a girl that does tech related stuff, and she's well over 1 million. She never got her 100,000 plaque. And her 1 million, she didn't get either. And I guess she was like complaining to them so much. And she finally just said, screw it. You know, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, whatever. I don't even care. And randomly, both plaques just showed up. And it's like, and you know what's interesting too? Doc Squiffy had something very similar too happen to him. He said that he was close. He was over 200,000.
He was over 200. Yeah.
And he kept complaining and finally got it.
Yeah. No, I speak to, like, you know, Doc Squiffy and Free Tech and TT Technology and CSS Coder pretty much every day or every other day. So most of the UK YouTubers have kind of gone away from those K applications or APKs and into other content. I do speak to them fairly regularly. And I know Doc was having that issue with his play button. And I think he finally got it, I think, at like 240 or 250k subs. I mean, he's had loads of other issues with, you know, being demonetized for ages and stuff. So it's just so frustrating where you can't get a clear answer from YouTube. Like, you know, what's violating which policy? Tell me, like, because ultimately, you know, if your video, for example, if your, you know, channel is demonetized or if your video is demonetized, if that video was monetized, then, you know, YouTube make money, you can make some money. So it's like everyone's a winner. So why don't you just tell me in this video at this timestamp, you know, maybe you swore or maybe you showed some nudity or something happened at this point, which is why we've, you know, made your video yellow. If they tell you that, then you can correct it. They'll be happy because they now have a green video that they can earn money from, and you'll be happy because you now have a monetized video. So really, it benefits everybody for them to be more transparent and, you know, let us know what's causing this issue. Why are you randomly, you know, making videos yellow or demonetizing channels? But they hardly ever, you know, and they're constantly saying in the yearly updates that this year we plan to be more transparent with the creators, we're going to be more open with the policies. But really, when it comes down to it, it's very difficult to get a straight answer from, you know, from a human. And so much of it relies on automation and bots just, you know, flagging videos or taking down content.
I think even if you can get past their bots, um, there's so much inconsistency when you actually get your content to be reviewed by
That's
an
so
actual
true.
person, right?
That's
So
true.
one person might approve it, but that person
Yeah.
might be 1 in 100 because they do have a lot of employees that are
Yeah.
reviewing
Yeah.
content all the time. So, I mean, you could request to have your plaque for hitting 100K. You could request it 100 times, and that 100th person could be like, "Yeah, okay, fine." But how many times? It's
That's
that
it. Yeah.
consistency. They have to train their employees. Like we recently did a podcast about how one of their YouTube moderators was suing YouTube because they were reviewing a lot of content that had a lot of legal things in it, and it was
Oh, okay.
causing
Okay.
them
Mental stress.
mental stress. So I mean, and the thing is that their workload is so heavy that they're watching these videos for hours on end, and it's really the garbage pile of society, right? Because a lot of these videos that people are uploading, they don't really care. They're just putting it up there, right? And if it's flagged for some reason, there's got it. Well, no, not always, but there is a lot of videos out there that are not very good from a mental aspect
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. Mm.
For sure. So, oh man, so time flew big time.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. So that's already been a. Yeah, that's it's time flies when you're having fun, when you're enjoying the conversation.
Right, right.
Definitely. No, this is awesome. One of the things we normally like to ask towards the end of the show, if there's anything that you would like to tell the listeners, the viewers, whoever is out there, we normally ask whatever you want to say. This is your time to pretty much say whatever you want. So go for it.
I would like to say I should have prepared for this because I didn't know this was going to be asked. I think the message I'd like to give to the community is just we really appreciate your support. Yes, we make videos, yes, we make tutorials, yes, we do reviews, but if nobody's watching that content, if nobody's liking those videos, if nobody's sharing those videos, if nobody's leaving those comments, then it kind of means like you're producing your content for nobody. But the fact that we have that reliable community, or that regular community that always respond to comments or leave comments, they always share our content, they always like our content. I just want to say it's really appreciative, and we really can't just thank you enough. So many thanks for all of your support. We really appreciate it, and us making videos for you is just our way of saying thanks. And we hope that you enjoy our content and stick around, because there's always something new around the corner.
Yeah.
It's crazy that we see more and more people that are trying to become content creators than ever before. And I see a lot of people that are starting YouTube channels now, and there's a lot of people in the streaming community that were part of chats and comments. Now they're starting to create their own channels, and they're starting to grow and kind of put more of their personality and put themselves out there. Even for myself, I'm only at about 34,000 subscribers. What advice do you have for anybody who's just starting to get into the streaming community in regards to content creating, or even someone in regards to myself, where I'm sitting at about 34,000 subscribers? What advice would you give them, or what's helped you along the way?
That's a very good question. I would say for somebody starting out, let's say you are a new content creator, and you're getting into streaming, or you want to make streaming tutorials, or that kind of stuff. I would say initially, don't worry too much about the numbers. Very rarely you're going to get like one video, I mean, other than your Showbox one. But I'm saying typically for somebody starting out now, because unfortunately the market is very saturated. It really is hard to be heard on YouTube at the moment. And it's one of those things where YouTube do seem to reward quantity over quality. So as long as you're making regular content, don't be too worried that, oh, this is not the perfect tutorial, it's not the perfect camera angle or the perfect audio. Just keep making regular tutorials or regular videos. Get that content regularly out there. Don't worry too much about the numbers, the views, the subscribers. As long as you keep making regular content, that stuff will eventually come. And for you, Next Level, I mean, you said you had what, 34,000?
About 34,000, yeah.
So the way I see it is, as long as you're continuously growing, even if it's like 5 subs or wherever it is a month, I still think that's a positive growth. Just enjoy the ride. There's no rush. As long as you still enjoy making those videos, just the numbers will keep on going up. Now it's different if, for example, you're saying, every month I'm losing 100 subscribers, what should I do? Because then it's a different advice. Then maybe you need to look at your content, maybe look at changing things up. But the way I see it, as long as your channel is continuously growing, I think it's all positive. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Amazing advice. I mean, you just got to keep doing what you love and helping the people that mean something to you, right? We all have knowledge and experiences and a personality to share with everybody. And this is a great platform to do it. And you just got to figure out the ins and outs of it. And that's it, right?
Yeah, and definitely don't be shy to reach out to other YouTubers. I mean, when I started out, when I had, I think, around about 10K or so subscribers, I think the first thing I was really stuck with was, I think I wanted to do a giveaway for 10,000 subscribers, and I didn't know like what's the best way to host a competition, how to do the the postage, if it's international post and all that kind of stuff. And I remember I reached out to, I think, about 15 different YouTubers, but I think only one replied, which was Top Tutorials or TT Technology. But then I got to like know him over time and stuff, and then since then I've got to know some other YouTubers. So just ask around, ask other YouTubers. Other YouTubers, when they ask me stuff, I'm always happy to help, because the way I see it, if I can bring somebody up, if I can help somebody out, it's a win-win. I don't see it as like a competition to me or anything like that. I just see it as like something positive that I can do. Then maybe when they get slightly bigger and somebody asks them, they'll think, oh, you know what, Tech Doctor helped me out, maybe I should help out this other guy as well. And that's how you build that kind of positive community with other content creators. So it's not just about bitching or drama or fighting.
Exactly.
We can all grow together.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man, that's some really good advice. On behalf of Beyond the Streams, we're excited that you came here, and we want to thank you for coming and having a chat with us. It's been it's good stuff. And I hope anybody who's been out there listening to us maybe learned something. I hope.
Well, I mean, from my side, I definitely enjoyed coming on. It was really good to speak to both of you, find out some more information about you. You asked some very good questions as well, so that was also good. So, no, I really appreciate you guys having me. So many thanks for that.
Yeah, thanks, man. So one of the last things we tell here, the subscribers, is you guys take care, and you take care of each other.
Stay humble and be patient, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
See you guys, man. Take care.